welcome to today's Biz Buzz segment. This week, we are sharing, each one of us are going to share our number one writing tip. Now, we know that writing is a very big part of, obviously writing a book and publishing a book. And we also know that a lot of writers out there struggle with writer's block or with some encourage, or they need some encouragement as they go along. So we thought that each one of us today is going to share our number one writing tip with you because we know how important that is. I'm going to kick off this week's segment and hand it over to KZ to share her number one writing tip.
Awesome. Thank you, Peter. Yeah, you know that I can talk all day about writing. That's not a problem. And I do think that there are many tips that I can give. I know that for certain. The one that I want to talk about in particular is actually two tips, but they're joined at the hip. You can't separate these two, okay? And the first one is very simple, but hard to implement, and that is make it fit. You have to develop a writing habit that fits into your life, that meets the goals, that allows you to meet your writing goals. If your goal is to write a book, then you need to be consistent. You need that writing time to be fit into your schedule, and you need to protect it. So make it fit. That's number one. Okay. And then here's the other half of this, and this is probably even more important. Make it fun. If you aren't having fun, if you aren't looking forward to sitting down in front of your keyboard, in front of your microphone, however you're writing your content, if you aren't looking forward to that and thinking this is going to be a fun thing to do and I have lots of things that I want to say, then you aren't going to do it. So make it fit and make it fun.
Wow, that's a great dual tip right there. Everyone listen in. We got two tips for the price of one. That's actually a really great tip, and it leads right into actually what I was going to share as well. And my number one tip for writers is to write every day. Now, when you have a project, you really need to be able to sit down and write and spend time on it every day. I've been a big Stephen King fan, and in his book on writing, he actually shares that you need to sit down and kind of come up with a goal, and you don't leave your desk, you don't leave your notepad, you don't leave your writing area until you reach your minimum goal when you write. And I've noticed that actually many times when I sit down and I'll give myself, let's just say, a 250 or 500 word little goal for the day, I usually end up writing a whole lot more than that, because once you get going, it's really kind of hard to stop. So, that kind of fits really into what KZ was sharing there about making it fit and making it fun, because when I sit down and I write, I know that usually I enjoy what I'm writing, so I'll write more than just what my minimum goal is for the day.
Awesome. Another great tip, Peter.
And I'm going to hand it over to Colleen now to share her number one writing tip.
One of my favorite writing tips, and something I needed to learn years ago and still I can struggle with it, but is to write first and edit second. So one common trait many writers, authors, perfectionists they wrestle with, and people wrestle with, is disconnecting the writing and the editing process. And I struggled with this for many, many years. If I knew something wasn't correct when I was typing or writing, I immediately would go back and correct what I knew or thought was incorrect and change it. But then I realized at some point that I was really losing time, wasting time, and let's face it, time is money. So after years of doing this, I finally trained myself to start writing my article or my blog, whatever it is I was writing, and then letting go of the editing process at that time, the self-editing process at that time. And it was really hard for me to do, because I would know I would be passing something up that was incorrect or could be incorrect, and I was afraid I would go back and miss it when I went back to do my self-editing part. So put all your thoughts down on paper or in your computer, and then revise the grammar, the duplication of your word uses, incorrect spelling, etc. later. And when I say write first and edit second, what I'm talking about is you do want to do your self edit before you send it off to your professional editor and proofreader. Remember, that's the process you can't skip, is the professional editing and proofreading process. But as you're writing, just go ahead and write, get it down on the paper, the computer, and then you can self-edit it. That's my tip for today. Thanks.